everyone. Welcome to another episode of American Poets. This is Emma, one of your hosts. Josie is out today working on her acting career. Today I am so excited to be coming to you from the house on 9 Ridge Road in Rutherford, New Jersey. I'm sure based on that, some of you already know who the guest is today. But in case you didn't, I am sitting down for an interview with the William Carlos Williams in his home. William, thank you so much for being on the podcast today and for letting me join you in your home.
No problem at all. I'm excited to be talking with you today.
So how are you doing? How's the family? How's Florence?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm getting a little older, but yes, Flossie, she's doing great too.
That is great to hear. All right, I'd say it's time to get to some questions. First, and I'm starting way back in your personal life with this one. Well, really all of these will be concerning your personal life, but anyway, what did you see yourself being as you grew up?
Well, my mom's interest in art ultimately became my interest in art. I went to dental school when I was 19, but later switched to medical school. My parents were incredibly rigid and expected perfection from me. But ultimately, if it wasn't for the strong support of my family, I would have given up the entire thing.
How did you get to where you are today as a medical professional?
Well, I got here by being on the front lines and in the trenches. My career began in a kitchen pantry. I was a general physician and pediatrician. Flossie and I had talked about getting married, but we waited for my practice to become established. 3.5 years later, we got married and bought this house. This is where my practice began to flourish and we built our life. It wasn't easy at first. I was fighting for financial survival my first 4 years out of medical school. As I continued to work, I started to relieve stress by writing. Truly, I was in the front lines and in the trenches. If I'm being frank, I would have given up my entire medical practice to be able to write all day.
What was the turning point in your literary career?
The fork in the road of my literary career was Ezra Pound. I met him while in medical school at the University of Pennsylvania. He's an eccentric poet, and he taught me so much. Before meeting Pound is like BC, and after AD. Pound is often brilliant, but an ass. Our friendship has had its ups and downs, but he has been a constant friend and inspiration in my life and in my writing.
It's been said that you are one of the most influential American poets of the century. What inspired you to change the dynamics of poetry at the time?
Honestly, it didn't feel like I was changing poetry. I was just writing about the things I was doing and seeing each day. It replenished me to write out the details after a long day. I wanted my readers to be able to see something, to actually create an image in their mind. Apparently, writing about the gruesome things I encountered did just that. You know, there's something to be said about the ordinary moments and their power. Isn't that all of life? Take a wheelbarrow, for instance. I wrote a poem about this, actually. It's called The Red Wheelbarrow.
Oh yes, we're familiar with it.
Well, anyway, a wheelbarrow is a simple object carrying items for us. Medicine is the wheelbarrow for me, carrying images into the minds of my readers. I came to realize that medicine and poetry, well, they go together. One occupation complements the other. They are two parts of a whole, that it is not two jobs at all, that one rests the man and the other fatigues him. Although I wrote honestly, there's so much about me that readers are yet to figure out. The hidden core of my life will not be easily deciphered.
How can you do it all, being a medical professional and being a writer?
Well, what else would I do? Drink? Nah. I always wanted and planned to have a life that was balanced in everything, and I think that's what I have for myself. As I said, I would give it the practice to be able to write all day, but that did offer financial security for myself and my family. Writing is a compulsion for me. Say, like a compulsive drinker. A drinker can always get a drink, even when he shouldn't have it. As you know, writing is so satisfying to me, part of my reaction to life itself. It's like an instinct. Perhaps my wife thinks I should be more social, but my inclination has always been to be by myself, where it is quiet. That's where I can think and write.
This is the last question we ask to every guest we have on our show, on every podcast. So what are 3 words to describe yourself?
Well, I'd say that even though I'm surrounded by my community of patients and family, I'm lonely. But I guess I like it that way. I think I need to be that way for my line of work. I'd also say I'm a busy man. Being a doctor, writer, husband, and father. I can be a bit pessimistic. Perhaps that can be attributed to the unfortunate circumstances I've encountered in my practice. Lastly, I'd say I'm a recluse. I prefer to be alone, really. Well, one more. I'm mercurial, meaning I'm unpredictable and my mood can change in an instant. And with that being said, I think that's all the talking I'm up to engage in today, and I guess that's more than 3 words. So, I overachieved some, but I hope that answers your question.
Why, yes, it does. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on the podcast.